Hi, my name is Kira Lingle, and my speech is on body dysmorphic disorder. We all have things that we're afraid of, whether that be spiders, clowns, or confined spaces. Sometimes these fears become extreme, and they become a phobia. Oxford Languages defines phobia as an extreme or irrational fear of or aversion to something. Now, imagine having this same irrational feeling towards a feature or multiple features of your own body. This is the life of someone who lives with dysmorphophobia, otherwise known as today, body dysmorphic disorder. The Anxiety and Depression Association of America puts it as, most of us have something we don't like about our appearance. A crooked nose, an uneven smile, or eyes that are too large or too small. And though we may fret about our imperfections, they don't interfere with our daily lives. But people who have body dysmorphic disorder, BDD, think about their real or perceived flaws for hours each day. BDD is a mental health disorder that impedes one's quality of life, keeping them from reaching their full potential. It's more than a simple insecurity, and through education on the symptoms and effects and the diagnosis process, I hope that BDD can be validated and be taken seriously. And within my speech, I will be educating all of you about the symptoms and effects of BDD. I will talk about the facts regarding the diagnosis and its close relation to other disorders. As well, I will explain the general demographic and percentage of people who are affected by BDD. First, what are the signs and symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder? BDD is completely based on one's perception of their own body, which is distorted in a negative way from their perspective. According to the Mile Foundation for Medical Education and Research, the symptoms consist of a strong belief that you have a defect in your appearance that makes you ugly or deformed, being extremely preoccupied with a perceived flaw in appearance that to others can't be seen or is seen as very minor. Belief that others take notice of your appearance in a negative way or mock you, frequently checking the mirror, grooming, or skin picking, attempting to hide perceived flaws with styling, makeup, or clothes, which is called camouflage, constantly comparing your appearance with others, frequently seeking reassurance about your appearance from others, having perfectionist tendencies, seeking cosmetic procedures with little satisfaction, which is one of the more extreme effects from BDD, and lastly, avoiding social situations where someone would see your body and your perceived flaws. Some of these symptoms might even sound familiar to you if you have ever researched eating disorders or OCD. Within the diagnosis process, all of these disorders are actually very closely related. BDD can often be diagnosed alongside of OCD or eating disorders such as anorexia nervosa. BDD untreated can also lead to anxiety and depression disorders. Chris Tronsden, a guest in a YouTube video done by the International OCD Foundation, gives his testimony about living with BDD as a young boy all the way through to his young adult years. After being diagnosed, Chris states, "I finally had a name to this thing that had taken so much from me, and I knew it was a disorder and I could turn around and start to beat it." It is a common misconception that body dysmorphia only affects females. This assumption is wrong, and Chris proves this wrong. Although generally only teens and young adults are diagnosed with it, BDD can develop in both men and women. Men are usually more likely to develop something called muscle dysmorphia, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's a dysmorphia of the size of their muscle. And women usually develop a dysmorphia about their weight or body fat. Both are noted to struggle with facial dysmorphias, such as acne, nose size, and complexion. In a research study on BDD by the Journal of Family Medicine and Primary Care, which was published on February 28th of 2020, they show the percentages of men and women who participated in the study and their responses to questions regarding their dysmorphia. When asked if they found a feature of their body ugly or unattractive, out of the 186 participants, 51.85% of females and 48.15% of males gave an extreme concern regarding this, which means that they felt they had a feature that was ugly and unattractive. They also asked if said feature interfered with their everyday activities, and they actually got a 50-50 response to this from both men and women. With all that being said, BDD has many negative impacts on both men and women. It is a very consuming disorder, and when left untreated, lead to the development of other disorders. It can also result in suicidal thoughts and other harmful physical reactions. BDD is more than superficial insecurities. It's a mental illness in the form of a phobia of one's own body. Our bodies do so much for us. They help us travel, get from place to place, exercise, and work. It's important that we cherish what they do for us and what they do for other people, because a lot of the times BDD starts from bullying or abuse or a negative impact or experience they had with another person. While we can't completely stop BDD from developing, we can personally take steps to be kinder to other people and kinder to ourselves. Human beings learn from example. Let's be that example for our future generation to love and protect our bodies, not to be afraid of them. If you are struggling with BDD, it's important that you seek help. And if you are suspecting that a friend or a family member is struggling with this disorder, be gentle and encourage them to seek help as well. Thank you for your time.